Welcome everyone to Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about success and how to get it. I know success is going to be one of those things that many people have on their mind. They're thinking about their $1 million plan. They're thinking about how to hit it big in the lotto. But yet, every day we hit it big. We get to wake up. We get another chance, another opportunity for us to be the person that we were always destined to be. Sometimes our path can be littered with obstacles. It can be littered with challenges, with hard moments that might make us rethink why we do the things we do. And even if this is going to be worth it. Sometimes people are going to say, you know what? I don't think I want to keep going down this path. Maybe you find that happiness is not in the goal that you are giving yourself, so you change. And there's nothing wrong with changing and redefining what success means for you, because success is going to be personal. And it might be success at different ages. What you want when you're 18 is going to be wildly different than what you want when you're 30 and you're 40. Because when we are younger, it's a focus on our growth and our development. So we work on school, we work on our career, right? We put that first, that little bit of life first. But then at some point we do a switch. There's going to be a mindset shift, you want to call it maybe, maturity that happens in our life. And we say, you know what? The things that we're going after are frivolous. It doesn't matter how many supercars I have in my garage. It matters how many lives I have changed. How much has my life meant to the world? Because sometimes I think people can be in a selfish mindset of, I'm doing this for me. I want the house. I want the car. But yet, the most happy people in the world are doing acts of service. How can I help other people? And if you can have that aspect in whatever you do, you're going to be successful every single day because you're helping people grow. You're helping people be better. And just like today, I'm going to be having a success and leadership coach, Kate Eckman, come on, help us understand, well, what is success and how do we get it? So let's get into that interview with Kate and myself. Welcome, Kate Eckman, to Coaching in Session. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks so much for coming on. Today, I have you on as a success coach, and boy, do we need that because so many people are sitting by the wayside. They're allowing success to run by them each and every day, and people are too afraid to reach out and grab their success. So we're going to be talking about the work that you do and how to help people become successful today. But in your own words, can you tell the world who you are, what you do, and how you help them?
I'm Kate Eckman. I do work as a success coach and advisor and consultant to CEOs and professional athletes and really anyone who wants to actualize their full potential. And I'm also the author of The Full Spirit Workout, helping people to live more fun and fulfilling lives and actually become the person who can achieve their cherished goals. And I do that through inner fitness. So we're building strong mental, emotional, spiritual muscles, which is a lot of fun. It sounds a little daunting, but way more fun than doing 100 burpees at the gym. And you still get those great fitness results, more confident, resilient, and strong on the inside to really help you combat all the storms that we're all weathering, live a meaningful life. So that's exciting, and do speaking around those concepts as well, and work in television as a presenter. But I really just want to help people live more truly fulfilling lives that light them up.
You alluded to fulfilling lives, meaningful lives. What does that mean to a person? When you say that to someone, does that mean like a big house, fast cars, a lot of money? What does that generally mean?
I think a lot of people certainly define success by those external terms. And I love nice homes and shiny objects and things as much as the next person. But I've experienced in my clients, and certainly all the people around me, I'm sure I've experienced, you may get the car, the house, the nice shiny object, and you feel really good and excited for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then it's on to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And I think we've all experienced that moment of, wow, I have all the things that society says I should have that would make me happy. I've achieved this, I've achieved that, and yet I don't feel fulfilled. And those are a lot of the people that I work with. And I've certainly been there myself. And that's because none of that stuff can bring us lasting happiness. However, you just take a trip, even just for 4 days. What I just did, I went to Maui with my brother and his family and was laughing and being silly with my niece and nephew and riding the waves and taking time off from the madness and stress of home and work. And that's something no one can ever take from me. There's no price tag that you can put on laughing with a loved one and having fun with a child and yourself and your family. And people that I work with, they've done all the big fancy things and they say to me, but I don't feel fulfilled or I don't have that meaning. And for me, I define fulfillment as the things I just described. Certainly feeling a sense of peace, feeling that I'm contributing to society at large in the world, doing something greater than myself and having a really strong why. And I think we feel fulfilled when we are more childlike, quite frankly, when we're not taking ourselves and our lives so seriously, and we're just able to experience more play and fun. And that's something that we sadly have to work a bit harder to achieve in our American culture. But I've reached a place where it's just, what do you want your legacy to be? And I'm thinking of that. And what do you want your life to be? And for me, I'm not getting the fulfillment out of my life just being about work and what I'm achieving and making the money to buy fancy things. It's not filling me up.
Fulfillment is one of those things that many people realize when they finally get the house, the car, all of the material things that they can desire in their life. And they find out that they have been living life backwards. They have sacrificed their years to attain financial wealth, financial freedom. But when reality is, they could have been 18, having kids, and enjoyed every moment. Yes, it would have been more difficult because when you're financially fit and you start a family, it is so much easier. That's why many people are starting families at a later age now, in the 30s. And it's not only because of people want to live in that materialism, it's because they want to have the best family life they can from the get-go, not the struggle. However, there is something that happens in the struggle. It's almost like a magic where you start to see the little things in life, where you start to appreciate them even more. Just as you said, when you were in Florida, the smiles, the laughing, the moments together, those are the little things that we can start to look at. I wanted to define success with you because success is one of those definitions that are going to be different for everybody. Success could be me hanging out with my kid, choosing if I want to go to work or not. Success could be I have a Fortune 500 company and the world knows my name. When we define success, what does that definition mean to you? And then maybe even go a little bit further, what it means to the average person in the world.
Yeah, I think for me, certainly it's nice that I have credentials, a scholarship athlete at Penn State University, that I competed at a high level as a competitive swimmer, got master's degrees at Northwestern and Columbia, two of the best institutes in the world. That makes me feel successful, and I'm grateful for those credentials and the success I've experienced in my career. Grateful, thank you, have worked very hard for it. But I have reached a level in my life and lost two loved ones to suicide in 1 year in recent years. And having to take a step back and really look at my life and the decisions I was making, I had to redefine success in that moment because these were two very successful gentlemen on paper. That was a time where Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, Chester from Lincoln Park, so many people, beloved celebrities, were all dying by suicide. And you would hear again and again, well, why would someone that rich, that famous, that good looking, that successful, quote unquote, choose to end their life? It made me really ponder that question. For me, success now, the headline is a peace of mind, being able to look in the mirror and feel good about yourself because you've worked hard, you've helped other people, you have integrity, you're authentic, you are leading with your values, you're following your values, you're cultivating inner characteristics like compassion, intelligence, kindness. Your life is more about just little old you and what you can get out of it and what you can take. It's more about what you can give. And so I think when you're just in that place of really dwelling in the present moment, whether you're on the beautiful vacation or you're sitting at home by yourself or you're at the gas station doing some mundane task, I think it's being present in who you are and appreciating your breath and your life. And I saw something recently where a gentleman was asking this woman, I could give you $10 million today, but it comes with a stipulation. If I give you this $10 million, you won't wake up tomorrow. Do you still want the $10 million? And it's the answer. We all say, of course not. And what that shows is that our life, our breath, just simply waking up in the morning is more valuable than any sum of money. And I think we all know that, but just to put things in perspective, I'm very passionate about this concept and talking about these things because it is so counterintuitive and a complete 180 from the thinking of the world, especially in America, that tells us we have to be all these things and do all these things and have all these things to be not even just fulfilled, but be worthy of anything, be worthy of waking up. And it's just a lie that we've been sold, something we need to consciously unplug and unsubscribe from and create our own definitions. And that's just liberating too. When you can go off script, if you will, when you can go against the status quo and say, no, like I've tried that. It doesn't work. I was this character in this script. I don't like this movie anymore. It's a horror film. I'm going to go over here to the romantic comedy and have more love and fun and joy in my life.
That is so right, because we do have to see that success sometimes is not defined by us initially. Our parents give us success. Our teachers give us success. And as you said, society, the society that you're living in is going to tell you what is success. It might say you have to be this status in order to be successful, or you can't do these things if you want to be successful. So we live in a world of limits, of bounds, where you can't be the artist anymore because that doesn't make any money. But we can see artists doing so well for themselves today. We do have to understand that our possibilities and what we can attain has to be something that we want. And you talked about our purpose, our passion, our why a little bit in the beginning. And that's important too, because when we can define that and we are clear on what we want to do, then we can start to go after the things we want. And then we can track how we're doing to get to the things we want. I believe that is where success is going to be shining the most, because if you give yourself a goal to say, run a 5K using fitness, right? We can use work, we can use anything, family, whatever. We can use that as our goal point. We might not be able to do 5K, start off just running a little bit, right? When you run a little bit, you could say, how far are you away from your goal? When you finally reach your goal, you have now attained your goal, right? You are successful. However, just because you reach your goal, it doesn't mean you're automatically happy, right? You give yourself goals. And I always say to place a goal behind a goal, because if you do not place a goal behind a goal, you're going to find yourself at the success line or the finish line, and you're going to say, well, what's next? And that's where many people fall into the trap of modern society, right? They get the house, they get the car, they get the family, and they're just not happy. They did everything that they're supposed to do. Success is what we define for ourselves, but then we also have to understand the purpose that we give ourselves. It has to be bigger than just a simple task or a simple goal. When we think of success in that world, how can we as coaches start to help our clients reach success more readily, more willingly, and be more defined in how they choose success rather than what was given to them by society?
Yeah, I think it's about becoming the person who can achieve our cherished goals rather than just the goal, which so many times we don't reach that goal because we haven't become the person who can achieve the goal. Kobe Bryant can have the goal of winning the NBA championship. He's become the person who can win it. If I have that goal, I'm not even in the NBA. They don't even allow women. It's just like, that's a silly goal for me to have. And I use a silly example because I think some people have or it's like, I want to lose 50 pounds. Great. But I'm like, you're eating pizza every day, all day. You have not become the person who's ever going to reach that goal. And then you get down on yourself. So you're eating more pizza. And I say pizza because I love my pizza. And like, that's my vice. And so I'm calling myself out. I'm not knocking anyone who's overeating or indulging in pizza. I've been there. For me, it is, that's why I wrote the book, The Full Spirit Workout, and went back to school and study all of these concepts to become the person so I don't have to try so hard or force or control or hustle and grind and manipulate. I attract. I'm a magnet to the phone calls, the emails, the opportunities, the experiences, the people. And it sounds like magic that this person just appeared in your life or you were given this opportunity, but it's not magic when you've done the work and you've done all of the things, the inner fitness, as I do, and have all the exercises in the book. So then you get to relax a bit more. You work hard, you put in the work, but then you're in an act of surrender and you're in an act of trust, which confidence stems from the words to trust, to do something with trust. So you're living your life from that inner confidence. It's an inside job. And then you're just attracting and allowing and receiving rather than the force. Because you can kind of force or control or grind your way there. I've certainly been there. But that's when you get there and you get the thing and you're like, well, this doesn't even mean that much to me. It's like, I got to get more and more and more. or if it's more of allowing, you get to really experience life and really suck the juice out of life and be in the moment, be present, and be more in alignment. What's a match for you rather than, again, going off some script. And it's like, well, I better do this because I got to make my parents proud. I got to impress this person. I got to get more likes. I don't even want this thing, but society tells me I need this thing. I think a lot of people married with children are in that thing. And so I think just being willing to spend the time quietly and ask yourself, what is it that I really want? Not what I want, but what I really want. And taking yourself on the walking meditation or just sitting, and I call it my sit and stare time, and just staring out the window and inviting in and listening to that, God, spirit, universe, if that's what you believe in, your inner wisdom, rather than that little voice that's like, why'd you say that dumb thing? Or you can't do that. You're never going to make it. Or who are you to have that dream? Putting that voice to bed, if you will, permanently, and then opening yourself up to hearing the truth and the love, and then making decisions from that guidance rather than the caca of the world, if you will.
You alluded to the fallacy of success. People see the success. They don't see the long nights. They don't see the calls, the failures, the losses. They only see the glitter and the gold. That is what they want. They don't want the hardship. So the moment they get something that has a bad taste, a little bit of hardship, a little bit of struggle, oh no, I can't get this, right? It's just too much for me, right? Because we are just not conditioned. We just don't visualize the failures too. We only see the success. And there is a power to seeing success as our visualization. Like, we're looking at what we want, right? There is an aspect to that. But we do have to understand that there's going to be many trials and tribulations along the way that we have to face and we have to overcome. Think about climbing to the top of a mountain or something like that, or a big hill. And let's say that path is very rocky. In the beginning, you're going to find it pretty simple to take those steps. You have a lot of energy, you're motivated, you're getting to the top. Well, halfway there, you're tired. You now are maybe a little bit sore in your legs. You're going to trip a little bit more often because you are not, as you started, 100% primed and ready. It's that halfway point where many people give up. They say, you know what, this is too hard. This is a lot of work. This is more than what I thought. When that is going through someone's mind and they're struggling halfway to success, what's something that you can tell them or they can think to themselves that's going to help them get to that top?
You have to have a strong why. This comes up a lot, as an author. I hear from so many people, oh, I want to write a book, or how'd you do it? And I think, oh, great, you want to write a book. Okay, why do you want to write a book? More times than not, I hear, oh, well, it'll help my business. It'll give me more credibility. I can get some speaking things from it, something along those lines. Great, fine, no judgment. But all I can think to myself, and I usually don't share this unless, someone's really open to feedback, but I think you're going to maybe not write that good of a book. You're probably going to struggle. And because you're in that place, that will reflect in how many people read it, which probably won't be a lot. For me, my why I wrote this book, and it is a lot of work to write a book. And luckily that's my background. I'm a journalist and a writer. And to be so, for me, raw and vulnerable and go there and talk about the darkest moments of my life and things I've been through and all the research, it's a lot of work. But on the days where, and actually writing a book to me was a joy. It's kind of all the other hoopla that goes into the whole book promotion and publication. The actual writing of the book, I loved. But what keeps me going is my strong why. I dedicated the book to my loved ones who I lost to suicide. It was for them and everybody who struggles with mental health, which I've learned, especially the past 3 years under a pandemic, we all struggle with mental health. I don't know one person who did not suffer from anxiety, depression, stress, fear, anxiety, any of that during COVID, for instance. I think if those moments you want to stop and you think, why am I, that's why so many people like these walks for breast cancer or suicide prevention or something, people go and they do the 10K or whatever, because they're like, I'm walking for my grandmother who's no longer with us. I'm walking for this person. I'm writing for this person. Having a strong why, 100% of the time, it's much bigger than you, because otherwise, like another silly example, if let's say for a health reason, I needed to lose weight. For me, weight loss, if it's about looking hot in a bikini, I am never going to lose the weight. I'm going to gain weight because it's like an FU to a misogynistic society that says I have to be skinny as a woman for a man, more or less. And there's plenty of men who don't even want a skinny woman. Anyway, I don't subscribe to that. So if it's about that and looking hot so I can get male attention, I'm going to gain weight as an FU. But if it's I would like to lose weight so that I can live 20 years longer and be around for kids, grandchildren, be healthy, have the energy and capacity to teach these concepts and do this work. I'm going to lose the weight and be super healthy because I have a strong why. That means something to me. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense to me. I mean, I do this for the audience because when it comes to having coaches come on, my mindset is not the only mindset. If you listen to the podcast, we have over 300 episodes right now. I think you're like 340 something, maybe 350 or something like that. Hundreds of coaches, and we have different perspectives. So your perspective is going to be unique to you. And that's what helps people gravitate to want you to be their coach, because I can talk about mindset all day. I could talk about success, purpose, being in shape, why you should do the things that are going to be helpful in your life all day long. And I'm going to have my audience of individuals, and they're going to say, oh, we love everything you say. But then there's going to be people who don't resonate with me. And that's perfectly fine. I understand I'm not everyone's cup of tea, nor do I want to be. I want to facilitate, I want to provide, and the service that I give people is not me alone. I understand I can't change the world by myself. That is why we have other coaches, wonderful coaches like yourself, come on and tell people a different perspective, a unique way to view things. Because as you said, right, you want to lose 50 pounds. Well, okay, great. That's a great goal. But why? Like, why do you want to lose 50 pounds? So you're going to do your keto, you're going to do whatever you're going to do. You're going to lose the 50 pounds, but are you going to keep it off? What was the reason for truly getting rid of that weight, right? You have to be extremely brutally honest with yourself. Why are you doing it? And if it's because I want to look good in a bikini, I want to get the guy or the girl or whatever, okay, that could be an aspect. But what if we made it a little bit more powerful? What if we said that we can live to a long, successful age of life, maybe 70, 80, whatever, where you don't have osteoporosis and you're struggling to walk up the stairs, where you can run around with your grandkids and you can have those small moments of life, as you said, when you were in Florida, right? Those moments right there can happen today, tomorrow, and in 50 years, if you choose so. Why do you want to lose those 50 pounds again? Do you want to fit in that bikini, or do you want a long, healthy life in 25 years? When we start to define it that way for people, people start to say, I didn't think of it that way. Just as you said, do you want $10 million today and you're going to die tomorrow? Or do you want the rest of your life and you can attain $10 million? And most people, they value life more. When we can show them that there's more to life, that even after your goal, your life is going to go on and it's going to be better because of it. And I think that's a powerful way to think and to have people think, rather than just thinking superficially.
As you're climbing up the mountain, as your analogy, and you're struggling to go on, you get curious about your why and ask yourself these deep questions to get the answer. Maybe that's not I call it your life assignment. Maybe your assignment is not to climb the mountain. Maybe as you're walking, you got the pebbles in your shoes. That's the universe's way of saying, you know what, this isn't your thing. Maybe you're meant to swim the English Channel for charity. You won't have pebbles in your shoes, and you know you're more athletic in water anyway, and you enjoy being in the water, and you hate being hot and sweaty climbing up a mountain. Maybe that isn't your assignment. I think sometimes we also get trapped in other people's goals, expectations, what mom and dad want for us, what the neighbors, what society says, and we haven't even considered what's our goal. Maybe we're climbing up the mountain because that's what everyone from our hometown does, and it hasn't even occurred to us that we can swim, or we can do another activity. I think you'll know what your purpose is, your why. If we're using just exercise and, swimming, climbing now, but fill in the blank for yourself. That's how you kind of know too. For me, I'm like, someone's like, you want to go swimming? And granted, I was a 17-year competitive swimmer. I'm going to go to swim versus climb the mountain, if you will. Getting clear on what's your life assignment, what isn't. You got a pretty good clue if you're lit up when you talk about the thing. Like for me, I can talk about these concepts in my book all day, every day, because it lights me up to talk about strong mental and emotional and spiritual muscles, and leading from that and spending the time to build this inner musculature, knowing that the results are phenomenal. I want to tell everybody about it. If right now you were asking me about the process of getting a book agent and publishing a book, something I did love, but I don't want to talk about that. Like for me, it was daunting. I want to talk about the creative aspects of it. But in terms of all the business, I'm like, I want to talk about that. Here's 10 people who do. They're going to charge you a lot of money. Here you go. So I use these examples because I see so many people, they hate being an accountant. They love art and they're like, yeah, but accountant, it pays my bills. And I respect that and I understand it. So maybe start doing the art on nights and weekends and have a hybrid experience, or do a business where you're doing accounting for artists and then you have whatever. Just open yourself up to these possibilities. Like, you're not stuck, you're not trapped. You don't have to be on this script that you don't even believe in. I think that's what I want to do. Just give people permission to live life against the grain. And it can be scary and it can be quite lonely, but you're free. You're free. We talk about freedom all the time in this country, and yet people are slaves to their circumstances and they don't think they can get out. And I have compassion for people who come from major dire straits, something that I didn't have to experience. I come from a good home and family, but there's resources for them too. You just have to believe that you're worthy of the resources and reach out. There's so many people who want to help.
When you were on that path from elementary school to high school and then maybe into college, you have a choice. And that choice is going to be, what career do you want to be in for the rest of your life? And that choice is an option because you don't have to be in a career, as you said. So if you are the accountant and you just find that you're just miserable in that job, you can do a pivot, you can change. When I started college, I was a business finance and accounting major. I did 2 years of accounting.
I love that I brought that up.
And I said, you know what? This right here, I'm going to be miserable by the time I'm 30. So I said, let me switch it up. Let me change the game. And I said, I'm going to go to teaching, right? It makes a lot less money, but so much more fulfilled each and every day. And today, after having coaches and mentors and trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, it just wasn't teaching in the, in the public school system. It was more than that. I just have a passion for educating, for coaching. And it led to today starting my business and then having all the different types of shows. I have several shows that we talk about enrichment, personal development, success, just as the work you do, how to help people get there, right? And it's so important that we have that personal development, especially in a world where everything else is more important than your growth. You got to, again, have the latest and greatest phones and the houses and the clothes, and you got to do all these stupid TikTok dances and challenges. That is more important than you finding yourself more personally developed. And I find that to be a crutch in our society today. We need to learn how to be more successful, how to be more potent and more prominent in our life. I would like to ask you a question, and this is going to be maybe, again, personal. You probably gave some of the answers already, but I want you to give your essentials, your essential steps to success. I think number one might be your why, your purpose, and things like that, but the essential steps to getting to or reaching to success.
Yeah, and I even broke it down, my 5 P's of confidence, and I wrote my thesis on this in grad school about, leveraging confidence to excel leadership development. And a lot of people think confidence is, again, the swagger and what you look like and your money and your education, all of those things. And certainly that can play a role. But again, you see so many people, and I work with so many people, and they're very confident at the free throw line or in the business meeting, but then they have tremendous difficulty having uncomfortable conversations, dealing with their emotions, feeling vulnerable, things like that. Confidence is an inside job. Confidence stems from the words to trust, to do something with trust. So it is that inner musculature that we can develop. That's the good news. You don't have to be a supermodel or a billionaire to access that. The first is presence. And I think it's not only just showing up like you mean it and you have something to say, but it's being present in the moment, devices off, distractions away, and just being there fully, experiencing that sunset on the beach with your kid or your loved one. And instead of just the phone and texting or even taking the picture, can we just be in the moment, and just focusing, like even right now, turning your phone off, putting on do not disturb and knocking out some creative work for 90 minutes rather than this notification, this, just being more present. I think having patience, that comes from the words to suffer. So we're all suffering while we're waiting for the thing that we want, but putting in the work, doing it, and then taking your hands off the wheel, loosening your grip, surrendering, and being somewhat detached from what's going to happen and what we can't control. The purpose is our why that we spoke about. And then preparation and practice. People just think that you think your favorite entertainer or artist or athlete just shows up with, I mean, they work harder than anyone, not because they're the worst, but because they're the best. So giving yourself that time to really trust and go through the process and get messy and fail, get it wrong, and then learning about yourself and just being that much better. And I think the more that we can pause, in between meetings, in between goals, before we respond to the upsetting text or email that can ruin the relationship forever, to just take that moment. I have my clients in between all the Zooms or meetings, even just taking 5 minutes to be like, okay, what was the headline from that meeting? Okay, Kate's going to do this. I need to follow up with Sally. Okay. Or wow, like I'm feeling a lot of struggle within this team. I think we need to do a team building exercise, like allowing yourself to even recap and take a breath and go for a walk or get some fresh air, have a drink of water. And then it's a bonus P. It's be a person, someone who has struggled with two other P's, perfectionism and performance. But at what cost? I was filled with anxiety and insecurity often, like so many of us. Allowing your humanity to come through and shine and just embrace your imperfections and your flaws and what it means to just be human. That's what's authentic and relatable. And by you sharing where you got it wrong or having the courage to be vulnerable, you give other people permission to do that and to embrace humanity, which is so beautiful and so relatable.
Yeah, when it comes to success, it is the totality of everything that we see. Most people see the surface level, but for the people who can see the deep stuff that requires or the requirements of success, the long nights, the fear, the anxiety, the stresses, all of that, learning how to overcome that is going to be essential for you to reach that success. However, we don't have to go in alone. We can get a coach, we can get someone, a mentor, a guide that's going to help facilitate our growth. And I find that we can go fast or faster when we have a coach. That is why I had you on, Kate, to talk about the work that you do and to show people that there is a way that they can be successful and it doesn't have to be the status quo. As we begin to wrap up, I would love to have some final words from you and then to please tell the audience how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, I just want to remind you that you are powerful and you can do whatever you decide is important enough and you can achieve whatever you deem worthy. So spending some time to get really clear on what you really want, what you deem worthy, and also spend some time exploring what you really value and then leading with those values and making decisions from those values and being okay with letting some people go and maybe leaving a job or leaving a relationship or leaving some clients and really blazing your own trail and spending more time, like I said, with the mental and emotional muscles and strengthening those. So then you don't have to try so hard. You will naturally attract what's meant for you. And it may not happen overnight and it may seem like magic and it won't work for you, but these are universal principles that are working whether you believe in them or not. And so I choose to believe. But I think it's just so important to remember that you are so powerful. The world has convinced us otherwise many times, but you really, truly are that great and you deserve to live from that greatness. And we all want to benefit from your unique gifts and strengths and greatness. The days you can't do it for yourself, please do it for everyone else, your family, your friends, your neighborhood. The world certainly needs you to exercise your greatness right now. We need more happy, fulfilled people who are lit up and dedicated to changing the world for the better. Got this. There's people here to support you. And I just appreciate you having me. I've loved our conversation. These concepts clearly light me up because I just really do believe in humanity. And I want to see humanity win again, right?
And how can people find you?
They can find me at kateeckman.tv, KATEECKMAN.tv, or head on over to thefullspiritworkout.com. Would love to connect with you there. Thank you so much.
No problem. And I'll definitely make it easy for everyone. All the links are going to be in the description box below. I encourage everyone to check out what Kate's doing. She's doing some amazing work. And it's important that we fill our life with people just like Kate who are going to remind us that success is attainable. I would like to thank you so much, Kate Eckman, for coming on Coaching in Session. Great conversation. All right, everyone. I'd like to thank you so much for watching that interview with Kate and myself. What went on in that interview was we were talking about what success was. We alluded to the society and status quos of what success has been given to us, the house, the cars, the clothes, everything, right? That is why we need the latest and the greatest. We need a sense of being a part of the community, of the society, of our peer groups. However, success does not have to be that you need to be incorporated in these groups that only want materialistic goods, that only see your worth by what you have attained. Sometimes it can be what type of person you are. Success can be that. Can you be a good human being in this world? Can you be someone that helps the world grow, helps light the way for other people? Sometimes people just think happiness is going to be when I get things. When I get what I want, then I'll be happy. And it's a trap many people fall into. I'm guilty of it too. I thought if I just got all the things I wanted, all the money, all the materialistic things, I would be happy. Yet happiness wasn't there. And then I was like, you know what? This is something that many people are living in. So I wrote my first book, and it's talking about the concept of happiness. And it's crazy how we correlate our happiness to our success, or our success to our happiness. If I'm this level of successful, then I'm happy, and I can only be happy if I'm this level of success. And that is one of the many lies that we have been told in our life. We can be happy today. We can be happy right now. I understand you might be going through something, maybe a hardship, a grief, a moment where you should live and relish in that moment. As Kate said, learn how to be present. There is a power when it comes to being present. It wasn't until I think I was like 21 to 23 where I started to really look at the things I was doing. And I said, is this truly making me happy? Am I really on the right path? And it wasn't something I thought about by myself. I had someone tell me, a mentor, a family member, a coach. They are going to be able to see your blind spots. They're going to be able to see that you're on a path. And maybe you're on the path, and down the path there's a dead end sign. You might not know that dead end sign is there because you can't see it quite yet. It's not into view. However, maybe a coach, maybe a guide, a family member has gone down that same path that you're going down, or a similar path. And they understand that at the end of this road, there is no other choice but a dead end. I say that because sometimes limits can be brought to you by other people. Look at Roger Bannister, 4-Minute Mile. I know I use this one a lot, but it is a great example to limits and to understanding the paths that we can be on. Scientists, family members, friends told Roger, hey, you can't do this. You're going to die if you run this 4-minute mile. Roger said, all right, cool. He kept doing it, and he finally succeeded. And what happened after he did that 4-minute mile? The world followed suit. Everyone said it can be done, so I will make it done. And so the record was broken and broken and broken. And people challenge that record today because they understand the power of possibilities. Success is the possibility to you reaching a goal in your life that you put some work, some dedication, some purpose for. Your why. Why do you do the things you do? When you wake up in the morning, do you hit that snooze button? If you do, your why is just not powerful enough. I understand you might have kids and they might be your why, but you just don't have the energy because you're bogged down by stress and anxiety. If you are living that life, I encourage you, get someone in your corner as soon as possible that is going to help you realize that you don't have to go in this alone. The moment you get a coach, the moment you get a mentor, everything starts to change. I know it seems like a magic pill. I know it seems like something that might be so far from the truth because you have tried it and it hasn't worked for you. Well, sometimes you could be trying to open a door with the wrong key. You have to have the right coach. That is why I have so many wonderful coaches just like Kate come on to the podcast, share her wisdom, share her story, share her mindset. So when you are trying to find your coach, there is no guessing game. Listen to the episode. Start to ask, will this resonate with me? Does she have a similar background? Does she have a similar life? How many paths has she walked on that I'm willing to walk on or I would like to walk on? There is a lot to success. If you want to be successful in a business, typically you get yourself a mentor, someone who has already did it. They already did it. They already were in the trenches and we learn so we can be further ahead. We can mitigate some mistakes. That is called wisdom. Let us be wise in our choices. Let us start to make better choices in our day. And let us not be fooled by the mirage of what society is saying and what we need. Because what we need is an opportunity. And if you wake up every single day, you get that. Not everyone is going to be lucky to get that. Life is going to be an opportunity to live or an opportunity to die. I hope you can choose to live each and every day, because you do only die once, but you can live every single day. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com, and I'll see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.